So we're here today. Early this morning at about 2:20 in the morning, officers were parked in the parking lot of a church. They were catching up on some police reports that they had from calls earlier in the evening. They were there sitting in their patrol vehicle, catching up on reports when a vehicle, a white SUV, sped towards them at a high rate of speed. The officers, of course, that caught their attention, looked up. That individual, they heard gunshots and they saw a muzzle flash coming from that white SUV. The two officers quickly got out of their patrol vehicle. One officer, a 3-year veteran, returned fire at that vehicle. At that time, the vehicle fled. The officers quickly broadcast that information to other officers in the area that they had just been shot at, and they returned fire. Shortly after that incident, on the 4500 block of Buckmore, officers located a white SUV that sustained damage. It was parked in the driveway. Other officers made that location. They walked up to that SUV and saw that there was a spent shell casing inside that SUV. At that time, they called in SWAT so that they could get to that location. They didn't have any information on whether there was a suspect inside that location. SWAT was able to call out the homeowner from that location. That homeowner came outside. He was very cooperative with police. He stated that a family member had been borrowing that vehicle, but he was not at that location. Officers found that that individual was not at the location, but they were able to develop a suspect name at that time. During the course of the investigation, they received additional information that the suspect resided at an area off Judson Road. Early this morning, we had rope detectives set up surveillance at that location. Early in the afternoon, that individual came out of the location. They were quickly able to take him into custody. At that time, he only had one warrant. I believe it was for maybe a traffic ticket or something like that. But they did bring him into questioning, for questioning here at the homicide office. During the course of the investigation, they spoke with 2 other witnesses who had information on the shooting last night. And with all that, they were able to develop enough probable cause where they arrested the individual for ag assault on a police officer.
They took him in without incident?
Yes, they took him into custody without incident.
And the residence where the vehicle was found, is that person related to this suspect?
It's a family member of the suspect.
Do you know what type of relation there?
I don't. I just know it's a family member. They did take that vehicle. It was processed for evidence, and we do know that that suspect fired at least 2 rounds at the officers. There could potentially be more rounds, but at this time we do know that there was at least 2 rounds. The 2 officers, they will be placed on administrative leave pending this during this time period, and then at a later time on administrative duty.
Was the police officers weren't hit, but was the police unit struck at all?
I don't have that information. I do know the suspect vehicle was struck, but I don't have any information whether the police vehicle was struck or not.
Have you or any detectives said anything about what Tyler has said about this? Is he denying it? Is he?
You know, I know he spoke with detectives, but I don't know what information was said during the interrogation.
Just your thoughts on somebody just taking these acts of violence at police officers sitting there doing police reports?
You know, it's very disheartening. These officers were just there writing their police reports when this individual, for who knows what reason, decided to take a couple shots at them. I can only think because they are police officers. They're in a marked patrol unit wearing the police uniform. It's very disheartening, but at the same time, we're very fortunate that no officers were shot.
Psychologically, have you been able to speak with those officers who were shot at?
I have not, but our department does take care of its own. We do have psychologists on the department. They will be speaking with those psychologists. We also have a peer support program for those officers in the event that they feel that they need to speak with somebody. I do know that there's officers on that peer support program who have been in similar situations and can relate to incidents like this.
Do you think there's any other suspects, or was Tyler believed to be the only person in that vehicle?
At this time, we believe he is our only suspect. Thank you.
Thank you.